everyone. Today we'll be discussing about the two concepts. One is microwaves and infrared rays. Okay, that we will be discussing. What do we mean by microwaves are nothing but the waves which are generated through a heat. Okay, maybe when they are said to be generated, they are said to be covered for larger areas. The larger areas means one area, one city to another city, one country to another country. If you need to communicate from one end to another end without any disturbance in between, no disturbance is there, then you are said to be using the microwaves. Mainly remember, microwaves cover a large area within the network. Okay, and it shouldn't be having any in between obstacles. Okay, through the sea, when it is said to be traveling, when from one sea to another sea, from one area to another area, without disturbance it will be there. So you need those microwaves for those communication. Okay, so here is an example. You can see how it is being generated. Like you have the microwaves which are generated from one antenna to another antenna. They receive and send the signals. Okay, mainly they are said to be sending and receiving the signals through the antenna. And here you can check out an obstacle is there. Okay, when a hill is there, a mountain is there, which is called as the obstacle when the information is being transferred. So mainly when obstacle is there, it is said to be not receiving the data in particular format. So it will be a direct transfer from one end to another end without the obstacle. Then microwaves transmission, mainly your microwaves transmission are said to be unidirectional. They move from only one direction, and mainly they have a frequency from 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. They are said to be having how much? 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. They are said to be having the frequency. And there are two types. Already you know about how the information is being traveling through your phones. Okay, when you are contacting from one end to another end, you are said to be contacting through the phones, through the satellite. It is said to transferring the information. It searches for the location and it transfers the information. That happens through your various devices which you are using. So there are two ways of communication that is in the microwaves. One is the terrestrial and another one is said to be a satellite. And remember, the frequency is from 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. Microwaves are widely used for one or more communications. Okay, when you have one or more communication, when you have multiple signals to transfer from one end to another end, you need the microwaves. Okay, the example where you are said to be taking for the microwaves are nothing but your cellular phones are one of the example. Then you have satellite network, another example, and the wireless LANs which are there. Wi-Fi is also an example of microwaves, and WiMAX or GPS, all those are said to be your microwaves which are said to be generated. Okay, so next you will be learning about the infrared. So that concept was based on your microwaves which travels for longer distance, whereas your infrared rays, it is said to be it has a frequency which is said to be lesser. It is about 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. Okay, not lesser. It has a frequency of 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. It is said to be having, and it is said to be having a very shorter range. Okay, frequency is high, but its range is very short. Okay, from one room to another room, it may be not longer distance. Maybe I want to get communicated within that specific area. Then I need the infrared waves. Okay, in this, an example is if you want to have a night vision camera, it is said to be having the infrared waves. Whereas a remote control, it is said to be also a infrared wave. And file sharing between two phones. Okay, I am said to be sending the information from one phone to another phone. It is, you can send it through the infrared waves. You have the Bluetooth. Okay, through which you are said to be communicating. They pass the infrared waves, and communication between a PC can also be done, and peripheral devices also can be done through the infrared waves. So here, whatever from the beginning, whatever you have learned about the communication system, transmission system, mainly it uses any of the medias. They have different types of medias. You have the coaxial cables, you have the optical fibers, twisted pairs, all those are comes under the wired part. Whereas not wired part, it comes to your antenna, you may be using the radio waves, you may be using the microwaves, you may be using the infrared waves. They are faster, but they have a tendency when some disturbance is there, it cannot pass the signal. Even your infrared waves also, when they are said to be traveling, any disturbance is there, it cannot travel with the distance. Okay, so this is the concept of your transmission media which you have learned. So this is the important one where you are said to be asked the questions with about 5 marks for your transmission media. Okay, so I am ending today. So tomorrow we will be learning about what do you mean by the error correction and detection concept. Everything you will be dealing in the next future classes. Okay, thank you.